What's up, weirdos? I'm Felicia and I like scary movies, and today I'm doing my first review for the Tribeca Film Festival. This is my first year working with Tribeca Film Festival. I'm feeling very fancy. I'm going to be covering all of their feature-length horror and thriller titles, so keep checking in throughout the next week or so because there are some exciting things coming. But let's start it off today with See For Me. See For Me was written by Adam York and Tommy Gushu and directed by Randall Okita. Let's do a little plot. When blind former skier Sophie cat sits in a secluded mansion, thieves invade for the hidden safe, and her only defense is Army veteran Kelly, who plays first-person shooter games online and now lives out her fantasy as Sophie's eyes. So what does this mean? It is a home invasion style movie where our protagonist is blind. We saw kind of a bunch of these type of movies a couple of years ago. We had Hush, we had Don't Breathe, we had Bird Box. Remember this? Oh yeah. But this movie adds layers of complexities that made it super fresh and thrilling for me. So first of all, our main character of Sophie, played by Skylar Davenport, who is, by the way, visually impaired, and so they were a perfect choice to play this character. They totally killed it. Now, I talked about this a little bit when I reviewed Run, that Hulu film with Sarah Paulson and Kira Allen. Having someone with a disability play a role that also has that disability is just invaluable, because that person is bringing their own life experiences into that role and helping the storytelling be that much more accurate. And I really, I felt that to a T when I saw Run, and I felt it very much so in this film as well. So I'm not gonna call this a trend. I'm just kind of hoping this will become the norm, but I found it very exciting. So we'll just give it a yay. Yay. But Sophie is a complicated and flawed character. She is recently blind, and so dealing with that, she has a lot of resistance to people helping her. She has a lot of anger and resentment, and this all plays out in various ways. Sophie doesn't want to rely on any people for help, but throughout the movie, she is forced to create a relationship with someone she doesn't even know in order to survive, so that's great. And she's also super resentful to people pitying her, feeling bad for her, having her as the victim. She's like, no, if you're going to treat me like a victim, I'm going to take advantage of you. And she does that. There is, at the beginning of the movie, her mom is asking her like, okay, where's all this extra money coming from in your checking account? And she's like, oh, you know, when I cat sit, when I house sit, whatever, they give big tips. And her mom and I were both like, yeah, I don't know. Turns out there were no tips. And then we had this character of Kelly, and we only see Kelly basically in her basement, I assume, in front of her computer, like her gaming computer. She's played by Jessica Parker Kennedy, who is just lovely in this, but her job is she works for this app called See For Me, where she helps blind people or visually impaired people do mostly normal daily tasks like, oh, can you please tell me what the expiration date on this bottle is? And she'll, you know, they FaceTime through this app and she's like, oh, it's yesterday, don't eat it. Or whatever it may be. But when Sophie calls, it's obviously a much more complicated problem. And then these two characters have to work together in this way that basically ends up working like a first-person shooter game that is so conceptually awesome and totally effective for the storytelling. And the next thing I love, this is like, I know I'm talking a lot of character stuff, but this is important. There are, I guess, 4-ish villains, if you will, thieves, and they all have distinct personalities that are thought through, and I could recognize each of them and tell you which was which. Now, I cannot tell you how often in home invasion movies where there are multiple invaders, or even other horror movies where there are like a group of people doing bad things, how often they're all just kind of like, we're bad. Where all of these characters were like actually complicated, like that, and that was kind of my thing for the whole movie. I was like, every character, big or small, was well developed and made everything that much more exciting. Made all of the like thriller elements even more scary because you actually kind of got to know each person a little bit. Now, I already mentioned this a little bit, but the use of technology in this movie is really fascinating and things I had not thought about previously in terms of a visually impaired person using to live life and survive a horror movie. And then the house itself, this giant house that they use for this film, is so perfect in many ways. Like the vibe, like the vibes, the aesthetics, they're good. The complexity of the house makes it that much more difficult for Sophie. And of course, the fact that she's never been there before. And then in general, the use of tension, scares, all of that I thought was very expertly crafted, worked really well. They led us through this story. I was scared when I was supposed to be. And then at the end, they kind of like let us fly. I'll let you watch the movie to see what I mean by that. But overall, this is one of my favorite home invasion movies I've seen since like You're Next or Hush. Like this is really great. I don't know the distribution plan. I don't know when it's gonna come out. But as soon as I find out those things, I will absolutely put it in the description box of this video. But overall, this was a great choice for Tribeca Film Festival. I'm so excited. This is the first one I'm reviewing because I absolutely loved it. And I hope you get to check it out very, very soon. Now, before you go, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel in unimaginable ways. And also leave a comment down below if you're excited to see See For Me when it comes out to VOD or in theaters. Unclear which yet. Have a nice scream, y'all. Bye.